one. Welcome back, Internet. Your boy Casey is here because we just got hit with more VGC 2026 news. So without any further ado, let me jump right into it, because it's primarily about the VGC Grand Challenges. We have dates for them, and we have updates to the thing. But before we're going to jump into the main thing, a little bit of speculation, a little bit of copium. There's been an update to the VGC regulations in general. Since Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will no longer have the same format and in-game ladder as VGC will have, they just thought, oh yeah, well, let's update a little bit. And basically said Reg H will be used for battles from September to November, as well as the subsequent regulation from December until the launch of Pokemon Champions. So the only reason I really want to talk about this is because the wording of subsequent regulation is relevant here, since it means after Regulation H had its second run, there will be one more regulation played until Pokemon Champions comes out, which just so happens to make me think that an January date will be possible, because it will be December, January maybe for 2 months, just a transitional period until it comes out, and hopefully we play Champions at EUIC. But to get to the main point of the video, we do want to talk about the Grand Challenges. And before we jump into it, what are the Grand Challenges? The Grand Challenges are the biggest online tournament that is part of the VGC season every time. They are basically ladder tours, if you're familiar with those. You have 15 games per day, 45 games in total, that you can play in a best-of-1 closed team sheet environment, where you just try to have the highest elo, the highest rating at the end of the weekend. And according to your placements, you get those kinds of things. So before we jump into the changes, let's see how it looked last season. So last season, there was a best finish limit of 3, and the winner got a whooping 170 championship points, going down all the way to top 1024th. Each sizable chunk, meaning that if you somehow won 3 global challenges in a row, it meant up to 510 points, which is roughly half of what you need to qualify if we take last season as an environment. So basically, this applies to the TPCI regions, which is America, South America, Europe, Australia. And there's a couple of changes to that now. Before we even get to the points, which is the big thing that got changed, is that previously it was applying to the entire TPCI region, which means only one person from all the regions that had the championship point system could get that first place. And now it'll be changed to have separate ratings for every region, meaning there's a European winner, an American winner, etc., etc. But the big thing, and the big reason why we're here, is the points adjustment. Old heads like me are gonna look at this and feel nostalgic, because they slashed the amount of points you can get. Instead of 170 points for first, you get 75. On the upside, the best finish limit got changed from 3 to 4, meaning that the maximum amount of points, if my math isn't off, is exactly 300 if you win 3 GCs. Now, I'll be straight up with you. I think it's a fantastic change, especially considering the fact that a lot of GCs are still going to be played with in Scarlet Violet, and closed team sheet Terra is a not very fun mechanic to deal with. Let me just say it like that. So having less impact on those, not having it be as deciding of a factor, is, I think, ultimately a very positive change for the competitive environment, since this isn't exactly how the literal rest of the season is to be played. Everything else where championship points are rewarded is open team sheet, best of 3, and in an actual tournament setting and not a ladder. So the global challenges, and I'll fully admit I'm biased there, have always been a bit of a thorn in my eye because it's really a bad way to do online competitions, and I wish they'd do something else. Also, we got to talk about the point distribution, because top 8 getting the 52 points and top 4 getting 54 is an insulting bump. And if those 2 points ever end up mattering, I might have to eat a shoe. But that feels so incredibly random. But yeah, ultimately what this means is that I think it's going to be a lot more chill to play the GCs. I have seen it from people that have competed in this season in particular, where it was about placements at the end of the day instead of reaching a point total. Very, very stressed out about this, since it is an incredibly volatile format where you can get caught off guard incredibly easily. So in conjunction with the fact that it's now placement based instead of reaching a points total, I think this is an overall change that benefits the wider range. The people that are at the top of the leaderboard might have to bite the bitter pill and just see that this isn't exactly for them. But yeah, due to the fact that there will be also multiple winners now, and with the higher best finish limit, I do think being good on average is being rewarded more with this change. Because if you can get consistently among like the top 32 and the top 16, you at least get some extra points which can help. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still not a whole lot, because 4 top 32s would still result in 52 points, which isn't the world, but at that point we're starting to talk about a range where it can still be relevant. So yeah, that in addition to the dates where we know the ground challenges, and the rest will probably be global challenges, with September, October, November being like 3 regulation age ground challenges, and then January being whatever the next format is going to be. Meaning that for all intents and purposes, we're going to get 1 grand challenge that is going to be on Pokemon Champions, because there is no way that it isn't out at that point, with what we know now. With the global challenges still being sprinkled in, meaning that we're going to get a really good amount of them. They just might be shoved into February, March, and April, since I don't remember there being any in June. Makes this a very interesting change, and I've already seen streamers talk about how now that there's less on the line wanting to stream that, I think also for the Twitch audience it can be quite an interesting one. But all in all, I was just curious about that, since it is the biggest change to the system we've seen for the 2026 season so far. I just wanted to hear what your thoughts are and keeping you all up to date, because any VGC news is ultimately also Pokemon Champions news, and we're all very hyped about that. So, as per usual, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!